चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरम् मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरम् गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुखं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतिरखिलं मधुरम्
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today, as part of our preparing for Shri Krishna Puja, we'll do some clearing with affirmations and mantras, followed by a talk from the year 2000 in Kabbalah, which is titled Spontaneity and Creativity. first let's bow down together in front of Shri Mataji, raise our Kundalini and put ourselves into Bandhan.
Shri Madura, Srushti Madura, Dalitam Maduram, Palitam Maduram, Madura, Vipate Ratilum Maduram, Madura, Vipate Ratilum.
ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुण्डलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्षप्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री गणेश साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
So we're going to do a little clearing, and you can do that by putting your hand over the chakras or in front of the chakras giving vibrations, or you can just keep your attention on it, whatever you would like to do. There's no hard and fast rules here. So we're going to do a mantra for each of the Vishuddha chakras, and a couple of affirmations on each, and then we'll go into the talk after a few moments after we finish with that. So Okay, so starting off with our left Vishuddhi. One mantra to Shri Vishnu Maya Sakshat. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vishnu Maya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji, I am not guilty. As I am the Spirit by your grace, how can I be guilty? Mother, I am not guilty of anything at all. Shri Mataji, I am not guilty. As I am the Spirit, by your grace, how can I be guilty? I am not guilty of anything at all. I am not guilty. Moving on to right Vishuddhi. We'll say one mantra to Shri Yashoda Vitala Rukmini Sakshat. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Yashoda Vitala Rukmini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji, verily you are the sweet countenance of my words and deeds. Please strengthen my diplomacy and respect for others. Shri Mataji, verily you are the sweet countenance of all my words and deeds. Please strengthen my diplomacy and respect for others. Shri Mataji, verily you are the sweet countenance of my words and deeds. Please strengthen my diplomacy and respect for others. Moving on to the center Vishuddhi. One mantra to Shri Radha Krishna Sakshat. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Radha Krishna Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji, by your grace, please make me a detached witness. Please make me part and parcel of the whole. Shri Mataji, by your grace, please make me a detached witness. Please make me part and parcel of the whole. Shri Mataji, by your grace, please make me a detached witness. Please make me part and parcel of the whole. Jai Shri Mataji. We'll just sit in silence for a few moments.
Today, we are here to worship Shri Krishna within us. As you know, that you all have been seeking before coming to Sahaja. You went to different places, read lots of books, and also some of you were lost. And in that seeking, perhaps you did not know what you were seeking. What you were seeking was to know yourself. In all religions it is said, know thyself. Is a common thing all of them have said. This is one point which is absolutely there in every religion, know thyself. Because without knowing yourself, you will not know God. You will not know spirituality. So the first step was to know yourself. And that one, people did all kinds of tricks with you, they taught you in a different ways and tried to actually loot you and cheat you. All those things have happened, is finished. So then you come to Sahaja and you get your self-realization. But what is the purpose of self-realization? Is to know God or the goddess. That is the purpose of self-realization. But after getting self-realization, what should happen to you? Many of you have lost interest in nonsensical things like drugs and all those things. You have lost interest in reading also useless books. You have lost interest in other habits like drinking and all that. But that's not enough. That's not enough. That would happen in any way. What has to happen by knowing God is that why does God want you to know Him? Because He wants to see His reflection in you. He wants to see your reflection. That's why He has created you, and He wants to see His reflection in you. Same with the Goddess. She has given you self-realization because she wants to see her reflection in you. So you have to prepare yourself for that reflection, which is so much purer, beautiful, loving, compassionate, and above all, full of wisdom. So this is the point one has to reach. Where do you understand? You have to have wisdom. If you are lacking in wisdom, then you are not a self-realized person. At the level of Sri Krishna, you see, He wants you to become one part and parcel of the Virata. Or the Viratangana also wants the same thing. That you should become part and parcel of the Virata. Not because you are realized souls now, so you go about thinking you are perfectly all right, you don't have to do anything about it. What do you do beyond this is the point. That after self-realization, you have to see the reflection that should be within you from the lives of these people like Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna was first born in a very difficult situation, as you know, and he was carried from there to Gokul, where he was brought up by Yashoda. Now there he started his playfulness. So you have to be playful in life. You have to create fun and joy. He didn't say that you sit down like an old sage somewhere in the Himalayas, but you mix up with children. You talk to them, you play with them, have fun. At the same time, he was destroying negative forces which acted upon him. In his playfulness only he has done it. As a child only he has done it. How matured he was as a child, you can see that he killed Putana, and there are two horrible Rakshasas also. He killed them. At the same time, he was playing with the gopis and teasing them, troubling them, making fun of them. Why? Because he wanted them to be playful. And all kinds of celebrations he arranged. He had once a big rain came and he lifted the complete mountain on his fingertips. That time, these people should have understood it's not possible. It's a miracle. But he was just standing there with one finger at the mountain. In a very simple, unassuming manner, he was doing all that. to protect all the boys who were playing with him. Then he went and killed Kalia, the one who was a big snake, in the water. In the water, this horrible fellow was creating venom, and by which many people were killed. It took him no time, and he jumped inside that horrible water of Yamuna, from where he rescued, in a way, all the people by killing or hitting, or you can say that by winning over this Kalia. But the wives of the big serpents asked him that please forgive him. And he forgave. All these things show a child of 6-7 years doing all these great things without feeling what he was doing. We can say that without even thinking about it. But he achieved it because he was aware that he was Sri Krishna. So first thing, you have to be aware that you are self-realized people. You are not ordinary people to behave in an ordinary way. You are special people, made specially to reflect the qualities of God Almighty. It's not expected that you go and kill Kalia. But the situation is such today that you are all the time protected. You are all the time protected. No one can harm you. No one can kill you. And you can be looked after because you are Sahajogis. Now what should be the attitude of a Sahajogi towards taking decisions? One should understand. It should be a spontaneous decision. You don't have to tally it with this, go there and find out. Immediately, spontaneous, like Sri Krishna who jumped inside the river. So in the same way, you should have a very spontaneous decision for anything. Now you want to buy, say, a carpet. All right. You go in the shop and immediately you should know which is the one. In every walk of life, you should have a very spontaneous decision. Instant decision. But what I find, the style is very different. They'll go from shop to shop, then make a list of it, then make all the measurements, then go home and say that we'll decide it tomorrow. That's not the way a Sahajogi behaves. Sahajogi has to decide everything absolutely spontaneously at that moment. It should be like this. Now somebody is getting drowned. So the first impulse should be that you have to save. And how do you save? You jump in the water. Because you are protected. Nothing can happen to you. So just jump in the water and you'll save the person. Minimum of minimum, this should be your attitude. This should be your temperament, that you take a very spontaneous decision. All this thinking and all kinds of decision making and having a big conference for decisions and all that, not needed. In day-to-day life also, you have to be like that. Also in every political life, economic life, or any other life you have to lead, you have to be very spontaneous. How do you become spontaneous? what quality you have got, what is the weapon you have got to know what decision to take. Do you know? You have got vibrations. You have the feel of the vibration. And you know what vibrations are. You know what vibrations tell you and convey and communicate to you. They speak to you. So through your vibrations, you should know in a second what should you do. For example, now somebody told me that, Mother, when I came to Kabila, I felt tremendous vibration. It's a fact. But how many of you feel that way? Because your sensitivity is not yet developed. You have to be sensitive about your vibrations. You should know, looking at anyone, sitting next to anyone, even shaking hands with anyone, you should know what sort of vibration that person has. This kind of sensitivity, if you develop, then you will definitely take a very spontaneous decision. You know, I'm very good at it. I bought this Kabila in 5 minutes. Really 5 minutes. When I came here, they said you can't go up because you have a big car. So the mayor said, all right, come along. I'll take you in my car. So I went with him on the car, on that car, and I saw it. It was all dilapidated, no doubt. It was all absolutely in a shambles. All right. And looked like a ghostly place, no doubt. And everybody who was with me, they said, wow, what a place, Mother. You can't buy now. So I told the mayor, I'm buying it. When? Today, now. He was amazed. I said, you tell me, how do I buy? He said, very easy in this Italy. You have to buy like this, that you pay 1/3 of the price. All right? And then you can occupy. If you find something wrong with the place, you can give up. But then you will not get your money. But if the other fellow is selling you says no, then he has to pay double. I said, very good bargain. I'm buying, I've told you I'm buying, I'll buy. And everybody was surprised what Mother was doing. So what decided was the vibrations. Vibrations of the place. Just decided I said I'm buying. That way they took me to 7, I think, castles. I said no. Outside only I could say no. And they were surprised I didn't even go inside. I said, ask them what was here. They said nunnery. I said, see. Now, you should develop that kind of a spontaneous decision. Then you will be amazed how in such a short time you can really achieve such great things.
I'll leave that there for today. I'll post the talk later because it's such a really good talk. We'll go into a silent meditation.
जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवर धारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रिज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रिज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रिज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रिज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम रामा राम रामा हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे हरे
Jai Shri Mataji. Let's do the last verse of the three group mantras. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Sahasrara Swamini Moksha Pradayini Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's always a great way to start the day in a collective way. Thank you for sharing your lovely vibrations. When you're ready to finish your meditation, please bow down in front of Shri Mataji, raise your Kundalini, and put yourself into Bandhan. Thank you, Shri Mataji. Have a wonderful day ahead, everybody. Jai Shri Mataji.